It's been a hard day's night, and I've been working like a dog. It's been a hard day's night, I should be sleeping like a log.
Welcome back to Sports Waves here on KWVS Pepperdine Radio with your host, Arthur Puu. Tonight we got a really great story about Pepperdine student athletes, and over the past few weeks I've been working on this article for my journalism class, so I had a great opportunity to get to talk to some of these student athletes about their schedules. So one really big thing that is very underrated for a lot of these student athletes is really the time that they put in to fulfill their duties as a student athlete. They have so much on their plate. They have practice, workouts, away games and home games, and not to mention class, and also sometimes they do service work as well. So really a lot of responsibilities for the student athletes here at Pepperdine, and not just here at Pepperdine, but also in other schools. You know, you find other schools like USC, UCLA, all these student athletes have to go through the same thing, and you know, it's just so tough because they have so much to fulfill, and as part of their duties, yes, they are given scholarships to become student athletes, but it's just so much that is required for them to do, and it's just ridiculous. For some of the quotes by some of the Pepperdine student athletes, senior Fred Waddell, a member of the Pepperdine men's golf team, and he explained how tough the commitment is as a student athlete, but he also talked a little about the positivity as a pathway to success on and off the field. Here's his quote. "It is tough to be a student athlete because of all the things we have on our list of duties. Our typical days, in no particular order, are morning workouts, practice, class, more practice, and homework time. Gotta love minimal sleep. But that's what it takes to be successful in the things that we're called to do." It really is a tough thing, you know, when you have so many things on your plate. Sometimes sleep is just on the back of your mind, but despite how tired you are, you really have to muscle through everything and try to get the things that you have to finish. That's why people pull all-nighters, but for these Pepperdine athletes, they have no break whatsoever. It's always on and off, on and off. They have so many responsibilities they have to do. Another Pepperdine student athlete that I talked to, her name is Gabriella Palmieri of the women's volleyball team. Last year, she was one of the 23 silver honorees of the WCC honor roll. This past year was her 14th annual commissioner's honor roll. So what happens was the award pays tribute to student athletes that possess at least a 3.0 GPA in 3 categories. Gold for student athletes having a GPA between 3.75 and 4.0. Silver for 3.5 to 3.74, and bronze for 3.0 to 3.49. So Palmieri got a silver. You know, that's relatively hard for a Pepperdine student athlete. And on top of that, she is a 18 unit taker and a biology major. So when you add 2 plus 2 plus 2 together, it's a lot on her plate. But she says, "I take school very seriously," quote, "but I am also aware that my time as a college athlete is temporary and that I should take advantage of this opportunity of playing collegiately. The balance between academics, practice, and traveling as a student athlete is obtainable, but it is really just a matter of organization and self-discipline." That is true. That second part especially is not just for student athletes. It's just for whoever wants to be successful in what they are doing. Life is all about balance. When you balance family life with social life, with school, with work, with anything you have going on in your life, that will lead to success. And if you have your stuff together, that can help you go far. I really appreciate what Palmieri says over here, because organization is really, really important. That is basically the key. And as a student athlete, Palmieri herself, I think she understands it as well as like, hey, this is what is expected of me, and this is what I have to do to be successful as an athlete. She continues to add on that she finds a passion in studying science as a biology major, but she also finds it even tougher because that adds an additional 30 pounds of workload. Other than that, she, just like any other student, the hardest thing for her is to manage her time between what she should be doing and what she wants to do. So, quote, "Just like any other any student, the hardest thing for me is to manage my time between what I should be doing and what I want to be doing. That's the life of a student athlete. Always set your priorities and goals straight and give your best performance on and off the court, regardless of how tired you are from yesterday's workout. At the end of the day, the results will pay off on the court, but most importantly, off it. A little bit of a philosophy right there. But really, for Pepperdine student athletes, one phrase basically captures the essence of what they are expected to do. And that saying is going the extra mile. They not only go on through the extra mile on their academic side, but they also go the extra mile in their athletic. Very tough for them, but I think Pepperdine University does a really great job really helping their student athletes find success both on and off the court. So I had a privilege to talk to Director Steve Potts, and he says, as an institution that holds itself to high academic and athletic standards, quote, we definitely emphasize the importance of being a scholar athlete. It is a process, but we closely examine personal performances and drive to identify which student athletes can be successful at their craft. Not only do they have to be a student of the game, but they also have to be a student of their class. So not only do they have to be students, but they also have to be willing to learn as well in the classroom. And he says that's more important because there's a reason why student is before athlete and student athlete. The reason why you are a student athlete is because that's your priority. Being an athlete comes second, but being a student really comes first. And that's the key to the word student athlete. And in terms of what Pepperdine does to help these athletes, the Athletics Academic Services Office is a division of athletics responsible for assisting student athletes in their academic endeavors while ensuring they have the best support possible. So one service that the Athletics Academic Services currently holds as a required one-unit class for freshman athletes is athletes class, which covers the responsibilities student athletes have to uphold throughout their careers as a college athlete. So I had a chance to speak to sophomore Catherine Zhu, a member of the women's golf team, about this, and she thought athletes class was really helpful. It was a night class, so she didn't really appreciate it, but she really appreciated it in the long run, and she had a lot of positivity about that. Quote, as a freshman taking athletes class during my first semester at Pepperdine, it helped me better understand my responsibilities as an athlete. They talked about the importance of keeping yourself prioritized and accountable for your grades and athletic success while learning how to balance a healthy lifestyle with our duties. This has translated well for me as a sophomore, and I felt the burden lessen in terms of balancing my schedule despite harder classes and higher expectations. Well said. And, getting to talk to Catherine about this, it really is important for athletes to understand their roles. When I talked to Fred and Gabby, more of the upperclassmen, they've seemed to have really captured the essence and the importance of being a student athlete. And I think as each year goes by, like they've said, it really helps them really adjusting to their schedules, really knowing their schedules themselves, and they just live the same routine. And regardless of what they have and how tiring they are from the day, they still fight it. They still fight it as warriors when they have to play a game, when they practice, when they work out, and when they have to do homework. So a lot on the plate of Pepperdine athletes, but you can make that best bet of they're going out, they're giving it their all on the court to represent Pepperdine as an institution, but they're also representing Pepperdine in a great way in the classroom, and thus they compete with purpose beyond the playing field. So that's it for this segment of KWVS SportsWAVES. Like us on Facebook at KWVS SportsWAVES. We'd like to hear some of your comments, your questions, and if you're a student athlete currently listening in the Hawk, we love to hear your comments. We love to hear more of your perspectives on being a student athlete. So we'll be right back after this quick commercial break.